Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice. In this, our May 14th, 2019 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including the latest episode of Supergirl, the upcoming season finale of Supergirl, all the promos that have been happening for the Krypton Season 2 TV series, and so much more. We'll also be turning to you to take your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss, and to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to the man sitting next to me, but across the other side of the world, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. You know, it's kind of funny, before I get into it, since we have time, every week I look over there, and this is actually what I look at, is my Baldy Award, so technically I'm still looking at a bald guy. Yeah, you're in much better shape than that guy. Now, since WGBS Live is all about Superman, we want to hear from the Superman fans that are watching us live on YouTube, even that guy or girl that gave us the thumbs down right at the beginning. So around the halfway mark of the show, and if we don't have too much on the docket, we're going to start taking your calls, if technology cooperates. To do this, you're going to need Skype. Get on Skype, find Superman homepage, and message us. Please message us first. We, around the halfway mark, we'll try to get to you, wait for us to reply, and if we do get to you, two things. One, be polite. There's only one thing. I just said two things because I'm screwing up. And the other thing is, if you are listening through speakers instead of like a headphones or a headset or anything, please turn down your sound because there is a bit of a delay.
Indeed, and yes, as John has indicated in the comments, I am live outside the Daily Planet building, which actually was a little bit closer to home this time around for me, because this film, Superman Returns, was actually filmed here in Sydney, Australia. So, yeah, that's where I am right at the moment.
Yeah, maybe you can go into that abandoned subway tunnel and go to the hospital. Since isn't that where they filmed that, in a subway?
That's right.
Station?
Yeah, that's right. The hospital was the subway station. That's right. Yes, they're at Wynyard Station, and that facade is obviously, it's a well-known facade here in Sydney, so it's still there, even though the streets get buildings and things change. A lot of the locations, I don't think the Bibbo's bar where he ran out of, I think the doorway might still be there, but I think the surrounding areas, the windows where all the TVs were that he ran past, that's no longer there. So they've changed all that since, 2005 when they filmed that?
So, wow, 14 years ago.
Crazy.
We are almost as far away from Superman Returns as Superman Returns was from Superman 4.
Yeah, it's crazy just to think how time flies.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
No pun intended.
The other day I was updating something, as in backdating a post, and it said, it's 2011 and I'm part of Radio KAL Live, and I'm just like, wow, that's like first started. So
so there you have it. So okay, we get into tonight's topics, and there really isn't a lot of movie news going around. I think last week the only thing we had was Henry Cavill's birthday, but this week I see that Henry was doing the Durrell Challenge, which is a animal conservation place that he's heavily involved in as a charity, and he does this run that they do to raise awareness and raise fundraise. So I see that he's been actively involved in that this week, but nothing on the side of him talking about anything to do with Superman, other than somebody asked him in an interview, if of all the characters he's played, which character would be most worried about animal conservation and the conservation of the earth and nature. And his answer was Superman, because of all his abilities and senses, he's able to obviously know what how the plight of the earth and the way things are going. So he did mention Superman in his interview.
Yeah, I doubt the character he played in the Mission Impossible film cares much about animals.
No.
Just that's just a hunch.
Just, yeah. But, so, nothing to report on as far as news as for movies, but we do have television to turn to, and there's a fair bit of television news happening this week, and the most as far as we're concerned was Supergirl, the penultimate episode of season 4, the Red Dawn episode was aired on Sunday night there, Monday night here, and you just submitted your review, which is up on the website right now. You gave this one a 4 out of 5, saying it was nearly the perfect episode, except for one thing that you really kind of didn't take to so well.
It's funny because sometimes, and this episode did it with something else too. It kind of hints at something that might be coming down the pike. And we saw a scene earlier in the episode where Supergirl was getting kind of charged up, whatever, at the DEO. And then, they're kind of talking about how she gets her powers from sunlight. And then we get to the end of the episode, and Supergirl is killed. And apparently, that the writers were kind of going with photosynthesis, since plants get their nutrients from the sun. Somehow the plants retain sunlight. I don't know how rock solid that is science-wise, but it's good as anything. But it was just silly. I mean, we had this really great episode where a lot of big events happened. We'll get into Rainey, we'll get into Ben Lockwood and all that, but that whole thing of her leaching yellow sun radiation from plants and kind of bringing her back from the dead was silly. Yeah, that was just really silly. It almost ruined the episode for me.
It was a bit weird, and it's the thing that was disappointing about that was that it was done in a very emotional, really heart-wrenching part of the episode. Kyla Lee just hits it out of the park with the emotional beats that she's able to hit, and the way she's able to bring that into her character. And I felt that was a really strong part of her coming back to understanding, getting the memories back about Kara, and how the flashes of light during that battle were kind of things that made her flash back to certain key moments during her childhood with Kara, and realizing that Kara is Supergirl, and that was a really strong part. But then for them to then kind of do that whole leaching of the sunlight, and the special effect they use was a little bit hokey, and it kind of it took me out of that emotional beat for that moment. It was just like, what? But all in all, a pretty good episode, a pretty solid episode, other than that pseudoscience kind of stuff that they did there with that leaching of the sunlight.
So at the beginning of the episode, we have the dream that Alex is having of her and Kara from when they were teenagers, and they're listening to contemporary music of 2007. Is it me, or does every time they go back to a flashback, since they got to the CW, it feels like an episode of Smallville? Because with the kind of the contemporary music playing, and them being all into it, the iPod in their hands, it just feels like they're kind of aping that a little bit, which I kind of enjoy, though. I think it's a nice nod to the series. I have to say the most impressive thing about this episode wasn't Brainy becoming emotionless. It wasn't kind of the emotional ending. It wasn't the fight with the Red Daughter. It was Sam Witwer acting like Brainy. It looked like he was having a ball, but it was just amazing to watch. John Cryer actually shared that to Twitter,
Yes.
That clip, and I actually saw that before the episode, and I'm like, I'm just convinced this man can do anything at this point. But that kind of balanced out the silliness of later in the episode. But Brainy. Ooh, that was an interesting turn.
It was channeling very much his ancestors from the past. Brainiac or whether it's Brainiac 2.0 or any other version of Brainiac that you want to kind of put in there. Yeah, he's definitely channeling that villainous side of Brainiac, the collector of worlds that we know so well from the comic books. That it was a little bit, whoa, you just went, when is he going to get his emotions back? Because he was getting so close to telling, not that I'm really that wrapped in the whole Nia-Brainy relationship love thing, but they were playing that he was about to tell her how he was feeling and that he loves her, and then wham, he's no longer has that emotion capacity, and is now just a, down the line robotic kind of character.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that's going to wrap up next episode. I have a feeling unless they're going to play it into next season, which is always possible. Mm-hmm. But I just have a feeling that their relationship is going to go to that next level through the course of the next episode, and that this is extremely temporary, which is fine. I was impressed with the actor's ability to kind of turn completely around, basically, and stop being kind of a goofball. And start being kind of a cold, emotionless, just the fact that he knocked John out, and basically is just using both of them, and if they fail, he's just going to come up with something else, which really feels a little more like some of the Legion stories I've read with Brainiac 5, where he is a little more coldly emotional or emotionless, which, it was great seeing John part of the action and all that. And I just keep going back to the sunlight and the grass thing. I really don't. Maybe we talked about this. Did we talk? Was there any indication that we were going to see Helen Slater briefly in this episode?
No, that was a total shock to me when she appeared. I was just like, wow, there's been no mention of that whatsoever. So it was a nice surprise. You don't, in this day and age with the internet and spoilers and things, you don't usually get surprised by guest appearances.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed that she was. And it makes sense that was what Red Daughter would use as her, as kind of bait and all that. I also really liked the scenes with Lillian and Lena.
Yeah.
I like that actress playing Lillian, so actually seeing her in a somewhat, I won't say heroic role, because she's still, objectively evil. But it was kind of funny seeing her under the control of that truth-telling alien. So, no, it was just, there was a lot to like about it. It wrapped everything up nicely. Did they just unceremoniously kill Red Daughter? Or is that going to turn out to be a fake out for the next episode?
Yeah, that ending was just bizarre. It was, obviously an homage, if you like, in some ways to the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the way he's holding her limp body in his arms. But and Lex wearing the Lexo suit there at the end, and it seems that, it could be a fake out, because Lex's whole thing is that he's trying to show the world that he's the hero who saved America, and the president's there, announcing the fact that Lex has saved everyone from Supergirl. Was she wearing the Supergirl outfit? It looked different.
I think, no, she was wearing the Red Daughter outfit.
So that was strange. I thought for that setup they would have put her in the Supergirl outfit and showed her as a dead Supergirl, but so a strange choice of ending there, but it obviously leads into the finale quite nicely, and for us to see just how that all plays out.
Maybe it was more, it furthers the idea that Supergirl has turned against America, so now she's wearing the Russian outfit.
Okay, yes.
The
thing is, how do you play that out where Supergirl is still, the actual real Supergirl is still alive, and all she has to do is get in front of a camera and go, hello, that wasn't me. What more proof do you need?
I'm sure Lex has something up his sleeve as he normally does. But again, we talked about this. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, that I really like the fact that they didn't just give us 3 episodes with Lex Luthor and then he wasn't there for the rest of the season, saving his final appearance for the season finale. Just really, I think it's playing it out perfectly, and there's the synopsis that you'll probably read in a second for the next episode where Kara turns to the power of the press. I'm kind of worried that we're going to get that last episode of the season like overly cheesy moment, like in the first season it was her making the television address, and then it was the whole fight scene with the Daxamites in the second season, and last year she kind of went back in time to Deus Ex Machina, the ending. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really excited to see how they wrap it up, and I'm really excited to see John Cryer as Lex Luthor again. But I'm just kind of worried something's going to pop up like the photosynthesis thing, and it's just going to kind of end up being a little disappointing.
And we were wondering how much this Crisis on Infinite Earths thing for season 5 is going to play into the finale, or if it will be playing into the finale, because we know it's a big thing for season 5. They've already kind of preempted that, but will it just be a crossover like every other year, or will the whole season be building towards this?
I'm kind of hoping that there is like an overarching storyline, but that the Crisis is dealt with in more than one episode. And there are ways to kind of, layer that kind of idea in. I know did we have the Flash season finale tonight? I think we did. I think we've had Arrow and Flash so far this week. So I haven't seen anything on social media saying that this hinted at something bigger. I was expecting it with the Flash, just because the Flash is kind of at the center of the Crisis. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what their tease is for the next season.
Yeah, exactly, and how that will play out. Well, speaking of the tease for next week's episode, which is the finale of season 4, here is that promo, that trailer for the episode titled "The Quest for Peace." We'll talk about that title after we play this promo.
Everything I've done has been strategic to lead up to this very moment.
I have to stop him.
Soon, Supergirl will be dead. And nothing can stop me.
Supergirl, season finale this Sunday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
So there you have it. That is the promo for the season finale of season 4 of Supergirl, titled, as I said, "The Quest for Peace."
Yeah, it looks fairly exciting. I think at one point she's fighting Ben Lockwood, it looks like. So I wonder if he's going to do a turn now that he realizes how much of everything that he's done has been kind of a dupe. I did like the fact that Otis told him that the Agent Liberty thing was all on him. But everything else was basically Lex Luthor. So I wonder how that's gonna affect him for this last episode.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because that whole Lockwood, finding Otis at the safe house and Otis kind of just spilling the beans on everything, and then the way that ended up, it was a big revelation for Lockwood. He thought he was his own man and was always, doing what he wanted, which in many ways he was, but it was orchestrated by Lex with the whole, becoming part of the government was part of Lex's plans, and he was just the dupe, as he said, that fit the hole that Lex needed to fill.
Yeah, it was, and he controls the president, so it makes perfect sense that he would have the president put Lockwood in that position.
Yeah, and the Quest for Peace is a nice tip of the hat to Superman 4, which obviously John Cryer was a part of as Lenny Luthor in that, or is it a bit on the nose?
Can it be both?
It can.
No, I mean that. I mean, it is very on the nose, especially, what I like about the version of Supergirl that they have given us over the past 4 years is that, at the end of the day, she will try to, extend the olive branch and she talks about compassion and all that she isn't just somebody that's going to go in and beat people up and ask questions later. So the fact that she tried to talk Red Daughter down during their fight, that makes perfect sense for the character, and an idea of the quest for peace is kind of always what she's doing. So it's on the nose in like 3 different ways, but it's also a really good kind of nod to the fact that John Cryer is this world's Lex Luthor. And it looks like he's having a really good time playing the character. So the fact that, given the synopsis that they released, that he's going to summon both Lillian and Lena to the White House, I think that's going to be I think that's going to be one of the more interesting parts of the episode, is kind of those characters going round and round with each other.
Yeah, and Venkman in the comments is asking, when is the next meeting for the Superman 4 Appreciation Society?
Man, I can't get any place to give us space. It's kind of sad. I mentioned, they want like a ridiculous down payment. They say that we would just attract trouble. Because the Smallville fans will want to show up, the Superman Returns fans, the Donner only fans. I mean, it's just.
And then you got to release the Snyder Cut people.
Yeah, which they drop in just about everything anyway. So it's just I think if I'm going to draw parallels to another franchise, in The Last Jedi, Yoda sets fire to the Jedi Temple, which burns all of their books, and it's basically a metaphor for cutting off the past and moving on and realizing the mistakes we made. I think at some point we need to burn the fandom library and just kind of start over with the core beliefs, because frankly it's really bad out there, especially this week. This week's terrible.
What have
I
you
don't
seen?
know what's up with social media.
Is that in relation
just
to
people,
Superman or other
it's
franchises?
No, it's like Game of Thrones fandom is
that.
ripping itself apart right now. So, and you still got the Endgame people arguing, and it's just like, wow, this is why we can't have nice things.
Indeed. Actually, I saw Endgame on Monday night. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Didn't feel like 3 hours at all.
Yeah, we're probably going to be seeing it this weekend, so I'm glad to hear that, because 3 hours is, it's people used to do 3 hour movies all the time, so it's not.
They
like
used to have
a huge
intermissions.
surprise. Well, that's true. Yeah, though there is a handy guide apparently if you do need to use the restroom. So
just go right before the movie starts.
Yeah,
You should be
just
good.
make sure don't bring any drinks in.
That's right.
No food. Just fast for like 3 days beforehand. You'll be fine.
Sit and focus. All right. Well, so that's Supergirl season 4. One more episode to go. Looking forward to seeing how that pans out and what happens in that final episode. And yes, 5th season has already been greenlit, and we look forward to seeing where that goes with the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths thing as well. But then, while we only have one more episode of Supergirl to go for this season, we don't have to wait too long as far as television viewers to get another fix of Superman-related material, with Krypton Season 2 returning to Sci-Fi on June 12. Now, Sci-Fi have been going at it hammer and tong with releases of videos and images and promos for this upcoming season right across their social media channels, which I've been really happy to see. And we have a few things we can go through. I'm not going to play all of them, or all of them, but they started off the week with a General Zod video or TV spot. Let's play that for you right now and check that out.
It is time for Krypton to take its rightful place. Not as the conquered, but as conquerors.
That was the Zod very quick TV spot just showing Zod talking about we'll no longer be the conquered, we'll be the conquerors, and really setting the tone for his reign on Krypton by tossing that poor fellow just straight off the ledge.
You know, it's interesting because if I'm remembering, well, I am remembering correctly because I reread it recently, there was that thing right around before the new Krypton arc where post-Infinite Crisis they talked about how Kryptonians were kind of a conquering race until they kind of cut all that off. So it's interesting to see kind of that element come in, that basically Krypton has gone from this planet of people who were like, you know, utopian future society to a bunch of jerks. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, but I think it's kind of neat that they're layering in more of a nuanced and maybe Krypton deserved to be destroyed at this point.
Well, that's what they're doing with Bendis' comics at the moment. Rogol Zaar was like, you know, got to wipe them off the face of existence.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. It seems to be kind of a way to reintroduce the space aspects of the DC universe to the comics. But we got a lot going on in the comics, currently. So
yeah, indeed. And then soon after, a couple of days after that TV spot for Zod, they did this kind of behind the scenes thing where they looked at the character of Zod and the making of this character. So check this one out. I'll play a little bit of that. It's just not playing at the moment. Give me a second. But they did a couple of these types of videos where they did a TV spot and then they did a behind the scenes thing for each of the main villains. And as soon as this kind of unfreezes on me here, we'll take a look at the behind the scenes with Zod. He's somebody with a lot of layers. Once you peel those back, he's, yes, still a tyrannical overlord, but hey, you are who you are, right? So that's what the kind of tagline is with it. And I've seen some comments about the actor playing Zod on Facebook that I thought were pretty speaking about things on the nose. You know, like people were like, "Oh, is he coloured? Is he black?" It's just like, what? I mean, seriously.
Again, this is why we can't have nice things, because people just see these things and they react poorly to it. I thought it was an interesting. I thought it was I haven't seen much with the actor, but he seems like he's good in the role. So why can't we just accept that?
Yeah, exactly. It's just still kind of just playing a little bit of a game with me at the moment. Oh, here we go.
No. Give me back my son.
It is time for this resistance to end. We should be together, not fighting each other.
General Zod has taken over Kandor. He's rebuilding it into the vision that he sees for Krypton.
We are now ready to claim our rightful place amongst the stars. In his mind, he is creating a egalitarian and fair-based society. Obviously.
So there's just a little bit of that video. I'm not going to play the whole thing for copyright reasons, but really interested to see where they go with Zod having taken over Krypton and having changed the timeline, which now means that Kal-El does not come to Earth, and therefore Superman does not exist in the present, their future timeline, which Adam Strange speaks about in upcoming video that we're going to have a look at. But we also know that Lobo is coming in season 2, and they did a bit of a TV spot promo for Lobo as well, and I'll play that one for you right now as well.
Everyone knows who I am. Assassin to royalty, scourge of the cosmos, the last Sarnian. Welcome at Bastille, Machete Man, Master Machete, Mr. Frag, Master Frag, Archbishop of the First Celestial Church of the Triple Fish God. None of this is ringing a bell. Name's Lobo. I hope you're not the squeamish type.
What do you make of this version of Lobo?
It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, they certainly have kind of captured that 90s, you know, Bastich, as they keep quoting. Mr. Frag, that's funny. No, I like that they've kind of just embraced that this character is just really silly, and going forward with that, because let's face it, he's a character that was created to be a parody of Wolverine,
right?
And then just over time took on a life of his own, as these characters do, and for a while. You know, it's funny that he's coming back now, because Lobo was really like the Deadpool of the 90s. He had like his own series, and he was everywhere, and it was just like insanely popular for no good reason. So it's an interest, and he's got a connection to the, you know, he was on Superman the Animated Series and the Justice League cartoon, so you got that too.
Yeah, exactly. And comicbook.com did an interview with the actor Emmett Scanlon, to find out, you know, about his version of the character and what comic books maybe he read to, you know, be informed for this. And he said, "We pay massive respect to all the comics and the heritage of the character. If it ain't broke, don't fix it."
That's a really good it's a really good way to put it. I like that. And you know, he is kind of the last of his race, which is. You know, he killed them all, but that's entirely beside the point.
And there's a behind-the-scenes video for Lobo as well that was released, and he's a bit of that now.
Lobo's the galaxy's greatest bounty hunter. He is ruthless. He loves pain, he loves torture, he loves killing. His leather pants get tighter by the thought of it. I'm going to use your intestines to strangle this saucy little minx.
This is a Lobo that was very much ripped straight from the comic books.
So there you have it. That's a bit of the behind the stuff with Lobo. I like the comment that his leather pants get tight at the thought of killing and all these kinds of things.
Tina in the comments says that Deadpool did it first. I'm kind of confused as to what she means by that, because up until like 10 or so years ago, Deadpool was just a minor character. So you know, if Lobo got the popularity first, you know, when Lobo was popular, Deadpool was just kind of this forgettable ripoff of Deathstroke. So
yeah, and we're not talking. Maybe we should talk about live action, because we haven't seen a live action version of Lobo since the Deadpool movies. But no, yes, you're right. Obviously, Lobo was around and more popular in the comic books before any Deadpool movies had ever been thought of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this version of Lobo, and I like the comedy element that he's bringing to it. And you know, it looks like they're having a lot of fun there filming these scenes with you know, Cameron Cuff and Sipos and these guys, you know, playing with Emmett Scanlon as Lobo. It looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be kind of the more lighthearted element of the season, because you have, you know, basically they lost.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What are you going to do then?
Exactly. All right, well, we're just at the halfway, or just over the halfway point of tonight's episode. We do have more Krypton stuff to talk about with Doomsday, and there's a really interesting behind-the-scenes look at Doomsday that talk about, you know, what they use to create the character. So let's take a quick break, play some messages, then come back and have a look at Doomsday on Krypton right after this.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Faster than a bursting bubble, cleaner than a whistle. It's me, the Soaky Kid, with 2 brand new Soaky Fun Bath characters, Superman and Tennessee Tuxedo.
Tennessee, penguins can't fly.
I happen to be skydiving.
Without a parachute?
I knew I forgot something. Thanks, Superman. Look, 2 brand new Soaky toys.
Great stars, it's me, Superman.
And me, Tennessee Tuxedo. Time to wash up.
Up, and away!
Soaky soaks you clean in
Oceans full of fun.
Scrubbly, bubbly, flippity, floppity.
Clean before you're done.
Soaky soaks you clean and every girl and boy gets a toy. When it's empty, it's a toy.
This picture of the Soaky Kid proves we're real Soaky toys.
Bath time is fun with the new Soaky Superman and Tennessee Tuxedo. More fun than...
That commercial is cut off at the end there, and he says, more fun than... And I still don't know what he says.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got as much of that commercial and it survived as it did. So,
indeed. All right, as I mentioned before the break, Doomsday is also a big part of Krypton Season 2, and they, Sci-Fi that is, released this promo looking at the behind the scenes of Doomsday. Where is it? The video. I'll grab it for us quickly. Here it is.
One of the scariest villains this season is definitely Doomsday.
What's really exciting is we get to see the creation of Doomsday.
No matter how hard we fight or where we hide, that thing will not stop until it murders us.
Doomsday has the power to destroy worlds.
We've realized him in a couple different ways. When he's standing still, he's actually a giant puppet. But when he's moving around, he's an entirely CG-created creature.
So there you have it. So it's a giant puppet when he's standing around, but when he's moving, he's a CGI character. The budget for this show must be astronomical.
Either that, or they're just like the technology is just so cheap now that you can do stuff like this and make it look good. Just with what they're able to do with on the network shows on a weekly basis. Maybe the budget is factoring in. There's usually 10 episodes. So, but he looks a little rubbery, but not terrible, I guess. Good. I just it's interesting that they're putting Lobo, Zod, and Doomsday in the same season. That's going to be interesting.
Brainiac.
Yeah. So I just this show is going to probably turn into the Gotham of the Superman world, where Gotham went kind of crazy there for a little while, from what I understand.
Notice that you don't have a red headpiece like we've been matching in the past. Now you've got a blue one.
Yeah, that's. Sorry, we had a little sound problem there for a little while. You dipped out on me, so I didn't quite hear what you said.
Saying we've had matching red headpieces in the past. Now you've got a blue one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, these things die so easily. I had that red one for like a month or two, and I was getting out of the car and it twisted a little bit, and one of the earpieces went out on me, so I had to get another one because I don't feel like paying $30 every time I need a new iPhone, like a microphone thing. So I'll get red next time and we'll match again.
No, it's all good. Well, it's red and blue. It's Superman colors, so.
I usually choose blue because of that. So there you go.
There is another promo out there. I won't play it. It's a fairly lengthy one for Krypton. Another trailer, if you like, that you can check out on the Superman homepage dated May 11th. So check that out as well. But let's move on to the comic book side of things. And there wasn't a Superman comic last week. It usually comes out the same week as Supergirl, which Supergirl number 23, Supergirl number 30 came out this past week, and that has been reviewed on the website. But Superman number 11 does come out this week, so it was only a week's delay. But are you reading the Supergirl comic book, Michael?
Still not. Have no idea why. It's like one of those things where I feel like I always think, oh, Supergirl came out, I'm gonna give that a read, and then the weekend goes by and I just realize that I just forgot. So I've actually had the weekends off recently, which is weird because I work retail, so you would think I would have more time, and yet I just end up doing less of the fun stuff and more of the stuff that just needs to get done because I have the time to do it finally.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. But it's kind of unfortunate Superman did not come out the same week as Supergirl, because you should actually read Superman number 11. No, it's the other way around. You should actually read... Yeah, no, it's okay. You should read Supergirl 30. No, you definitely should read Superman number 11 before you read Supergirl number 30. Because they lead into each other. Superman number 11 leads into Supergirl number 30. That's where they start intertwining. So it's kind of unfortunate that Superman number 11 did not come out last week, where you could have read it and then read Supergirl, because it kind of spoils the ending when you read Supergirl first. But anyway, this week in the world of comic books, and Supergirl is a really good title. It's been really enjoyable of late. And she is following the whole Rogol-Zar thing and chasing up on what did actually happen to Krypton, and whether Rogol-Zar's telling the truth as far as being the killer of Krypton. And so she's investigating that off-world, off-planet, and takes her to Oa, and takes her to the Green Lanterns, and takes her here, there, and everywhere. She tries to delve into just exactly what everybody knows about Rogol-Zar and where he came from and what his story is. But this week in the world of comic books, this is what we do have coming out this week. We have Justice League number 24, which Justice League is another strong title that's doing really well at the moment. Scott Snyder is doing a great job with this title, and that is available in a variant cover, which is a pretty cool one of the Trinity of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Also, Mike's saying he's so confused. Sorry, Mike, if I confused you. Let me know what I've confused you with. Also out this week is Superman number 11, as I mentioned. Death to the House of El. We've got Rogol-Zar there standing over the characters Superman, Superboy, and Supergirl. And that is also available in this really cool variant cover showing Clark Kent there in Metropolis with the big TV screens in the background. We also have this week Superman Rebirth Deluxe Collector's Edition Book 4 hardcover out this week, collecting Peter J. Tomasi's story about the Family of Steel. That is out this week in the world of Superman comic books.
Yeah, I keep being impressed with these variant covers. They end up usually being extremely attractive. Not really anything, of course, to do with what's going on in the interiors, but it seems like we had some really good variants during Rebirth, but it seems like since the Bendis one has started up, we're getting more artistic, like kind of
poster worthy.
That's absolutely what I would say. But it's just I like that shot of Clark Kent. It looks really good.
Yeah.
But I like seeing Clark Kent, so I'm kind of a sucker for that.
Yeah, so true. On changing tack a little bit to the world of Superman outside comic books, TV, and movies in the real world, we have the Superman celebration coming up in Metropolis, Illinois next month, the 6th to 9th of June. It is taking place. And the Superman homepage, once again, will be inviting members and fans to come to the Superman homepage meet and greet. This year, we'll be moving it to a new location. It still will be on the Friday morning at 10:30 a.m., but instead of being in the crowded space there of the restaurant at Hardee's, we are taking it to the American Legion building, which is located at 321 Market Street, which is behind the Superman statue, kind of behind Fat Ed's restaurant, if you like, in this street parallel to that. And we'll have our own space, our own room, where we'll also still be in air conditioning, which is really important in June in Metropolis. And yes, there'll be plenty of space for everyone. And once again, we'll be giving away prizes. You'll be able to answer some fun trivia questions. And there will be a Superman button once again for the first 100 people who show up.
Yeah, that's it just keeps getting bigger every year. Not only the celebration itself, but the homepage meet and greet. We've talked about this before, but back in 2008, it was just us all sitting around a picnic table.
Yep.
Right near where the statue is. And from what I understand, it kept there for a couple of years, but then we got over to the Hardee's or Carl's Jr., depending on where you are in the world. But now we're taking over an American Legion Hall. Basically, at some point we're just going to take over an entire hotel. And there'll be like Superman homepage con kind of going on in the background.
Right. Yeah, side one. But I was on the verge of going, look, do we really need to be doing this anymore? Kind of just in some ways it's become just a giveaway, or people just turn up to get some DVDs and Blu-rays. And last year I tried to make it a lot more fun when I was there in person, doing trivia quizzes and doing games and things that, making it more of like a community feel where people would, get involved, not just grab a ticket, come up and get a prize. And it becomes really impersonal, where people just kind of just doing their own conversations in the background and everyone's just milling around waiting to try and grab some swag. But last year we really made it a bit more fun, a bit more of like a festive atmosphere where people were yelling out questions, and the first person to come up with wearing a Superman watch, and they'd get a prize, or first person to come up with their Superman underwear or in hand or whatever. Not that we kind of encourage that kind of stuff, but
I think we're getting a little personal there, Steve.
And
I want to feel like a family, but I don't want to feel like I want to do these people's laundry.
So yeah, we're hoping to continue on that track. While I won't be there this year in person, we still have Jamie and Rhonda Kelly and Ken and Cindy Sills running the Superman homepage meet and greet for us, and they'll continue on that spirit of making it a trivia quiz kind of event where people can get involved. And we'll still have some Blu-rays and DVDs to give away. There's also some vouchers for the Super Bowl bowling alley, and maybe some other prizes and giveaways that will be part of the whole atmosphere. And again, the 2019 Superman button that is designed specifically for this year in mind. So yeah, get to the Superman homepage meet and greet on the Friday, June 7th, 10:30 a.m. at the Superman celebration this year.
This year, just again not happening for various reasons that have to do with the real world. But it's almost like at this point that I want to go just to be part of the meet and greet. Since it is a little bigger now, I think that would be kind of fun from such humble beginnings.
Yeah, and I think Ken might be streaming the video live too. He does that for certain events there at the Superman celebration. So keep an eye on the website if you can't get to Metropolis this year for the Superman celebration. We will be posting live video feeds from some of the major events that take place there.
That's another thing that's different. I mean, it was before you had to wait till like the next day to get the reports, and there was just photos.
Yeah.
And uploading video, was just so time consuming. Where now you can just, set up your phone and live stream things. So yeah, it's a whole new world.
And I think they've even got free Wi-Fi there in the Superman Square at Metropolis, where in the past it'd be sketchy, kind of trying to get the any kind of signal. And for me, having free Wi-Fi, I'd have to wait till I got back to the hotel because I wasn't, doing international roaming with my phone. And but now you've got free Wi-Fi in the middle of the town square there, right near the Superman statue, which is fantastic.
And probably, I don't know, that is much more convenient, isn't it? That's really cool. I like that.
Indeed. All right, well, we have time for a This Week in History. If you're prepared, I will throw to the intro for you.
I am set. We got a big one, too. So
okay.
This is going to be kind of cool.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
All righty, big one. We got an 80th anniversary of something for this week. May 18th, 1939, that's Saturday, so it still squeaks in on this week. Superman #1 was released. This was the first issue of what was originally supposed to be just a special, but they turned into kind of a quarterly and then, eventually a monthly book. This reprinted Superman Champion of the Weak and Oppressed, The War in San Monte, Superman Battles Death Underground, the football story, but also contained an extended version of Action Comics #1. So I guess we could also call this the first director's cut for a comic book, where you got more of the story. Because if you read Action Comics #1, it just starts right in the middle of the story with the person accused of and going to death row, and just have it's like, here's Superman, and here's Superman carrying a woman around for seemingly no reason, but you get the whole background of that. So I've been kind of waiting for this one because I was kind of excited when I saw that it came out in May. But yeah, from such humble beginnings of being basically a reprint book to being kind of a flagship book for the company. So
that's Saturday,
we're
May
gonna
18th, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
So everybody have a party or something. In 1949, Action Comics #134 came out. It had Superman Super Cowboy on the cover of this. Superman is spelling out Lois Lane with a rope. So I guess we're getting into when cowboys were popular. This also had a Tommy Tomorrow, Congo Bill, and Vigilante. Same year, Adventure Comics number 142 came out, and that had a Superboy story called The Man Who Walked with Trouble. Jumping to 1959, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane features a kid in a crib throwing something at Superman. We have the Crybaby of Metropolis, Lois Lane's Romeo, and Lois Lane's Super Seance, which I'm sure is silly. We're going to jump to 1969, another issue of Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane, number 93, the Superman Wonder Woman team. This is when Wonder Woman was powerless, and the cover features her flipping Lois over as Superman looks on behind them. Just the late 60s were not kind to Wonder Woman at all. We are going to jump all the way to 1999. We're going to go 30 years in the future on this one. Superman, the Man of Steel, number 90, A Girl and Her Robot. This was post the Daily Planet, or right around the time the Daily Planet went away for like 3 months, and right after the whole Superman Rex storyline. Then going to 2009, Action Comics number 877, The Sleepers Part 3, which was part of the World Without Superman New Krypton storyline.
Oh, wow.
And it's really weird to think that that's all like 10 years ago now, where it just really does seem like yesterday. Going to the real world, Marv Wolfman celebrated his birthday yesterday. Wrote The Adventures of Superman in Action Comics. He was born in 1946. And that's it.
Cool. There you have it.
That's literally it.
The week that was in the world of Superman this past week, across 80 years plus of history. If anybody has any questions, we have time in the comments. If you have any topics you want to raise, you want us to discuss. Venkman is shuddering at the mention of the new Krypton saga that happened in the comic books. Amethyst is talking about the fact that Supergirl comic book was very good this week, and I mentioned that a little bit earlier, how good Supergirl number 30 was, and how good that title has been. On an off topic that's kind of related to Superman, which everything is these days, isn't it, Michael? We can always bring something back to Superman.
I definitely can.
You do it all the time. I finished reading Gwenda Bond's new book, which she did the Lois Lane trilogy of novels. We had her as a special guest on this show. I've just finished reading her Stranger Things Suspicious Minds novel, which is a prequel to the Stranger Things TV series that's on Netflix. That's highly recommended. Loved that. Just goes to show that she's not just good at writing Lois Lane books, she's a great author doing other things as well. So if you're looking for a book to read, that is out at the moment and highly recommended. But on the Superman side of things, the Big Blue Report, our bi-monthly newsletter, is going out tonight. The next edition of that will be emailed to subscribers in just over half an hour's time. So if you are not subscribed and you're watching this live, then head to the Superman homepage website and you will find the Big Blue Report subscription thing there, where you can sign up and receive this free newsletter, which we send out twice a month, the beginning of the month, the middle of the month. And there is content in that newsletter which is not seen in any part on the website itself, including the supervision puzzles that we do each time. Tina asking, can Brainiac get out of the Phantom Zone? Well, I guess anybody can get out of the Phantom Zone at one point or another, depending on whether there's the Phantom Zone projector opened up to allow them to escape.
And John asks, what do we want to see in the 100th episode of Supergirl? I guess we are coming up on that next year, won't we? I definitely don't want to see Lana dying and then Clark going back in time and preventing that from happening, and then Jonathan Kent dying. I think that would probably be terrible, and also make absolutely no sense to the show. I don't know. I think 100th episodes are weird because, you kind of have to pay homage to everything that came before, but you still have to tell an ongoing story. I mean, a couple of years ago, Arrow did their 100th episode, and it was part of the crossover that they did that year, the Invasion crossover. So, I don't know. I think they should make a big deal of it, but I don't know if I want to see kind of like the This Is Your Life type of thing.
Yeah.
I definitely would like Wynn to show up.
That would be nice.
In some capacity, just to kind of, get the old band back together again.
Indeed. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. But before we do sign off, I'd like to thank everyone for watching tonight's episode of WGBS TV Live. Once again, thanks to everyone in the comments there on YouTube for your participation in the episode. And a big thank you to you, my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And a huge thank you to our sponsor and patron, Douglas Meacham. And if you would like to sponsor the Superman homepage and support everything we do at the website, then please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, where you too can be a sponsor for as little as $3 a month. The complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on the Superman homepage website and our YouTube channel. If you missed part of the show or perhaps want to watch it back again, you'll be able to do that in both those locations. But Michael and I will be back next week on Tuesday, May 21st at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. We look forward to talking with you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.